Hello and welcome everybody, Lionheart here, and today I'm interviewing Mr. Greg Laycock and Mr. Will Overgrad.
Hello!
When he returns from his quest for water.
Don't know where he is.
But what I want to do for this video was kind of a road to Rome 2, looking at the kind of transition development from Rome Total War,
which was awesome,
to obviously Rome 2, and Will has joined us.
Hey! I cheered myself!
Dreadful human.
So obviously
Rome.
Let's talk about Rome. The game's main campaign set during the rule of the late Roman Republic and early Roman Empire for the original game. There's been various total wars in between: medieval, Empire, Napoleon, Shogun, which have all covered like vastly different time periods, added in vastly different sort of military tactics and ranged combat to melee combat. Now coming back, kind of perhaps one of the most iconic Total War games for many fans. So, Will and Craig, from the development of Rome Total War across kind of all the previous Total Wars up to Rome 2 and including Rome 2, what are kind of your favourite features from the series, or perhaps the most iconic ones that you feel really represent the series?
Favourite features from the series?
From the whole series?
As they've evolved.
Okay, well one of my major advancements that I really loved was the skills tree in Shogun 2. The individual
that was awesome.
Skills like the RPG style system.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked the generals previously with the way that their traits would evolve depending on what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I sometimes found that when a general was holding the border, like my superstar general and his 20 stack was anything keeping people from invading a certain area, he'd just get fat and lazy. I'm like, no! You're like MacGyver meets Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was my example.
But no, the fact that you could take an agent type and then change it into being basically two different types of agent by customising their skills, just made it so much more.
So the
yeah.
introduction of kind of that RPG element to Total War, and like customization within not just armies but characters themselves.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of our fan base, when we initially suggested it, were kind of sceptical about it, but I think it's kind of made its way into being a real mainstay of the series now. And in Rome 2 we've got the tradition system, of course, which kind of builds on that, where you can have permanent traditions associated with the Legion, and kind of that legacy remains. So it's going pretty well there.
I will say that my favourite feature also leads into the legacy, but for different reasons, is that I've always loved customization. So I can't remember if you had ship customization on Empire, because my Empire time and Napoleon time is kind of merged into one.
You could name the fleet in Empire.
And I really loved that. Well, I could start saying, unfortunately I would use terrible names sometimes, but occasionally I'd have that one fleet of warships that was just amazing. I'd name each one of them. Yeah. I'd name the admirals that would sail aboard them. It was awesome. And then we didn't have the army customization Shogun 2, but we had the avatar mode, and that gave you one guy plus his bodyguards change their colours, change his outfit, and just so I basically made the ugliest bright luminous orange individual that I could, but he was mine. And so now we're hitting the tradition system, and it's going to be not just picking the name, not just picking the emblem, but also picking how they fight, how they perform.
I've got a funny story actually about Empire. When I played a lot of Empire, I used to actually have a fleet that was specifically a ship that was specifically for dying generals. So what I would do is wait until a general got to about 79, and then put him on the death boat, sail him out to the middle of the Atlantic and wait for him to die. And then when he's dead, sail the ship back and collect another one. So that was the way I disposed of old generals, which is actually awful now that I think about it.
That's really dark.
Although, to be fair, I used to do the same thing in Medieval 2. If I had an heir that was really crap and I didn't want to use him, I'd put him on a boat.
Yeah.
Just one small boat, the weakest boat I could get, send him against a pirate fleet, auto-resolve it so he definitely would die, and instantly my new heir rises up who's a great crusader or something like that.
Bad news, the
death boat, they're a
pirates got him, I'm afraid.
It's basically like American Idol, but who wants to be the next heir? We've had a look at your rap sheet. You're actually a little bit not very good, so we're going to have you murdered by pirates. Next contestant, please!
So, obviously, of all the Total Wars you guys both worked on and played, what would you say was your favourite one?
Should we do this on 3?
Yeah. Do we have different ones?
I don't know.
I don't know, because I keep changing. Okay.
It's going to be done on 3. It's going to be really awkward if it's on
1, 2, 3.
Medieval. Sorry. Oh no!
All burned. So Craig.
Which medieval?
Okay. Ready?
Okay. 1, 3. Hang on. We'll get. Come on. Right. 3,
2, 1. Fall of
Medieval
Samurai.
Viking Invasion.
Oh, vastly different there.
Yeah, no,
very different.
I love Viking Invasion.
Viking
because
Invasion's
you were
medieval
zoomed
one.
in on the British Isles, and you had the kind of the different play style of the Vikings who would kind of come and raid Britain, and it was set in Britain, so I kind of loved that. It's just a selfish thing. I just love playing as like the Saxons and uniting Britain, or playing as the Picts in the north and trying to do like a rock hard campaign of trying to unite this new Scottish kingdom.
No, I super agree. Fall of Samurai has been my favourite because like Shogun 2 was such a it was a symmetrically designed Total War game. Like everyone was equal with slight subtle differences, but it was about how you played it. So you had that, and then you had Fall of Samurai, which was like, we're going to start with that, and then we're just going to kick out the jams. Here's torpedoes, Gatling guns, offshore artillery.
Yeah.
And it's just that you go from this kind of this beautiful, like, perfection of balance that was, and then you just go, kablay!
Why didn't we think of this during the marketing campaign? But it's like going from Zen
Yeah.
to Explosion. Go. Oh, we missed the trick.
It's up there with Bank Interview.
Yeah, Banquet View.
So, favourite Total Wars covered. Favourite features, or the features that you love the most from Rome 2?
See, we kind of talked.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the traditions thing really.
The traditions
I
is
love,
really.
I mean, from a visual standpoint as well, I love the expanding the cities, just because you
Yeah.
kind of feel like you're in control of the campaign map for the first time. It's not just like a, it's something that happens by itself and you interact with it through panels. It's like you can shape the construction of the campaign map to an extent. And I really
Well, I won't repeat how I described the constructions occurring on the campaign map, but they are truly beautiful in how they spring up, and as I said, the development of kind of changing cities. He swan flat. the changing models of cities throughout the previous Total War games has always made you kind of feel impressive, going from like a small Motte and Bailey castle to a huge fortress. But now with Rome, it actually happens in front of your eyes. A new wall pops up, a new building, and that, a lot of people enjoy the battle side of it. But I think this is going to be so much more time spent on the campaign map, purely because not only does it look great, but it draws you in even more.
Yeah. See, my personal taking traditions as my first, my second's got to be actually the regions of province, which I know that sounds like a weird thing for someone like me who loves explosions, but the idea that a region is part of a larger area to take, it just has this wonderful kind of conquest feel.
Yeah.
So you take one area, it's like brilliant, you've got that one region, but you want to take the whole province, but it's time to stop the war machine going.
You feel like a badass when you've got the whole province.
When you got the whole thing and you're just like
slapping down your edicts.
just like, now party, because I bloody tell you to.
It is pretty good. Yeah. But on the campaign map thing, the expansion thing as well, the organic expansion that happens naturally is kind of random to an extent as well. So you end up with very different looking campaign
So you see the
maps.
small little sort of shanty towns sprawling out.
And that will kind of be different from playthrough to playthrough as well, depending on how that
brilliant.
city is expanding. So you end up with, you might be in a similar position to a friend in terms of your campaign progression, but your maps might actually look different. So
Which is super, super cool.
it's great for replayability.
Yeah. So one final question, kind of looking back to what Rome Total War achieved.
Yeah.
What is kind of would you say is now like the iconic feature of Total War? Because for some it's always been the turn-based strategy, some it's always been the battles. Now we've got that element of RPG. What do you feel that kind of perhaps started with Rome, or even before that, and is now, if someone says to you, "What's Total War?" you instantly go.
Well, for me, it's the blend of. I always describe Total War to people as a blend between, a board game style mechanic of moving armies around, and then when they meet, you get to command that battle yourself and go in person and actually fight that. And I think that blend is pretty unique to Total War, really, isn't it?
It really is, and I'll probably get a lot of hate for this because I do play a lot of RTS games, but Total War's got the badge of being essentially the purest strategy game, because it's not just about the units that you have in that one particular map, in that one particular battle. It's the campaign that's led up to that. Like, you've had to have the resources and the infrastructure to support these, rather than just being, construct additional pylons.
And you need to be multi-skilled. It's not just about fighting; it's about commanding your provinces and making sure that everyone's happy and that you've got your armies are in the right place. And so there's two levels to it, and I think that the two-level thing works to just make it a deeper gameplay experience to some of the games out there. And I say that as a Total War fan, having played hundreds of hours of Total War before I joined CA. And
yeah, we were playing this thing.
Yeah.
I found that I actually was terrible at campaign map planning and campaign map diplomacy, because I just used to build the biggest army I could, just stomp the shit out of everything. If I couldn't win, then I would play the battle again and again until I won.
I used to play just a lot of campaign and auto-resolving and just kind of playing the brute force numbers on the campaign map and not really playing that many battles because I kind of sucked at them. But
We should team up.
we should team up, yeah. I've got a bit better at battles these days because I've played quite a lot of them. But
And I don't suck at campaign anymore, but
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys, and answering those questions. So, Total War Rome 2 is out September 3rd.
September 3rd!
Yes.
Links will be in the description to pre-order if you haven't done that, because why?
You should.
Spartans.
Spartans the reason.
Spartans.
Or if you like an incredibly hard campaign and like Spartans, then Spartans.
They look badass and they're really hard to play with because they're kind of in a really diminished position in the DLC.
Oh, because everyone thinks of them, when you say Spartans, they think of Frank Miller's 300, you know, the Spartans at the peak of their power, being badass, fighting the Persians.
Yeah.
This is them after they've lost a lot of fights.
Yes, but they still have the cool armor and the hats.
And they still have that kind of spine.
So, yeah.
So, if you are pre-ordering, check that your store or website is participating in the
Indeed,
Greek
yes.
States
Yes, do
DLC
that. Yeah, please do.
for free if you pre-order. So, check that out. Guys, do a crazy cool sign-off. Go! Comment, rate, subscribe, guys.